Yeah, I can't remember where I was at. Something about your original Christians. If it wasn't the Moorish Ethiopian stock, then that was talking about the Circassians. And Circassians were turban wearing pale people. They wore turbans. They had throbes. They had fezzes. They knew all the same stuff that the Muslims knew due to teaching and study under the Muslims. So you have people like the Huns, the Cathars. The Cathars is who basically became the people to teach what became Catholicism. It was the ancient arts and mysticism of Catholicism, and what those symbols really go back to. Talking about the ancient Copts of southern Egypt region that became the Greeks. So these are all dark-skinned people, and we brought all that up because we were talking about reparations. So when you deal with look at the Caribbean getting their slave reparations supposedly for the transatlantic slave trade, that knocks out all the people of North America that was going for it, because they say more people were taken to the southern Americas than the northern region. It was only 300,000 slaves supposedly brought to the northern region. So if that's the case, how could millions of people get all these reparations for just those 300,000 people? It wouldn't divvy up right. It wouldn't even go. You'd be lucky if you had $100 at the end. When it comes, because look at how much people it is. Look at how many people came up here. How many people would claim it if that became a reality? Because it's Europeans that have bloodlines, or they have mixed into certain bloodlines with Moors. So they would be able to claim this too. Y'all not thinking. Like, everybody faced slavery when it comes to the America, so everybody will be able to claim some form of reparations when it comes to that, which is what the civil rights was about. But to get back to it, so Caribbean, it was so subjugated how they did it. They recognized the fact that Jamaicans used to own slaves, but then they said that if you want the reparations, you had to agree to the new forms of citizenship or whatever. So if you've been living there, Jamaica, you had to come out of wherever you were at, become a citizen under whatever forms that they were saying to sign up. And it compelled the government out there to accept their role in putting African Americans in slavery. So this is like a double human rights violation. You're violating the people's rights by forcing them to accept being slaves. Then you're violating the de facto government's rights by forcing them to say that they took part in the slavery. But then when they tell you the history, they're saying Jamaican slave owners. Wagwan. So it's retarded. So when it comes to us receiving reparations, if you can't see that that's a game, it's not going to be good. It's this guy.
Whoever received them gonna go right back under some type of jurisdiction. Whoever received them motherfuckers.
Yep, it's a game.
As soon as you get your check, you right back in some shit.
And why do they think the reparations is supposed to be paid in cash money? Like, what about your nation? What about your land?
I'm sorry, I'm all jumping in y'all conversation.
I'm doing a lot.
Probably gonna be some shit like you gotta turn in your deeds to your house. All types of shit gonna have to be turned in. And fucking refraud it. We gotta refraud shit.
Yeah.
Like,
recolor it. It's like in these corporations, you could only deal in color. So like how human beings could only deal in blood. Our blood, it changes colors from what they say blue to red. I don't believe that, but let's just say it's blue whites in your body, is red whites out. So your skin is the only thing. Your blood is the only thing that can be colored. So red blood cells, white blood cells, blue blood. So red, white, and blue in the blood. So they can't deal with blood. No, never hear Europeans talking about consanguinity or sanguine. just sanguine, like the right of blood.
Those motherfuckers so robotic. Let me give y'all a perfect example of what I was just talking to this lady about at my job. Not even an hour ago.
Robots.
So I'm asking her, because she just got hired in. So I was like, how much was your pay raise from, the company? It's like she got, it was like a deer in headlights. Like I just asked her, like, do you want your throat cut or something? She like, oh, they made us sign a confidentiality form. Like what? Like what are you talking about? Like all I'm asking you is what would if we are both temps and you get hired and I ask you how much was your pay raise, how is that just so it's just this conspiracy to what? Like I'm trying to take your paycheck now. Like tell me how much it was so hard to get her to say $2.
Yeah.
Your raise was $2 and you talk about some confidentiality. I said you do know it's your confidentiality, right? You could talk to whoever you want to about it and shit. They just don't want people that don't get taxed to be telling y'all, oh, I don't get taxed, so this my check. That's what they don't want, the company. But if you want to tell me how much you get paid, be my, you know what I'm saying, be your own guest. Like, what the fuck you talking about? They won't allow you to tell people how much, what?
It's deeper than we can see. It's like the blood is sacred. So they can't touch blood, so they deal with secrets. So like, it's like secret societies that rules their world. To have an inner secret that all y'all people keep, but you just don't tell none of these people over here. That's the way they survive. We don't have any secrets. Everybody know what niggas doing. But like them, try to think what they're doing tomorrow. They keep that off the news, off the screen. And then you see that in just the regular way they act. Go ask a European who they voting for. They're not gonna tell you. Go ask a European how much they got in their bank account. You're not even gonna know how to guess that. Ask a Moor, a sleepy-headed Moor, how much money they got in the bank. He gonna lose it on you throwing it at you. It's a difference. Put it like this. How do I act in my house as a child when I go in my house and I know it's my room, my toys, my stuff, and I'm a little asshole? You ain't getting touching nothing. Now, take the same situation if I didn't know that was my house or know that was my toys in my room. I wouldn't even know what to tell you about what you were in there doing. That's what's happened with Europeans and Moors. Like, we don't, like when we say stuff, because this is all coming back from reparations. Like when we say stuff, we don't know what we're saying because we don't know what the words mean to know what we're even saying. Like, so when I hear a lot of people say, yo, they put us in slavery, they owe us reparations. You know the meaning of reparations in his language? Like, because he talks legalese. He don't mean... Right.
Talk about reparation.
Reparation.
Not to restore.
No restore. Reparation. And they like, yeah, let's get our reparations. So it's funny. Do our people conceive reparations through our own mind or what they tell us reparations is? Reasons like that is why we'll never get reparations. Because you don't know what it is from yourself. Eat down to the word. Which means that forever, until he chooses to give you $2 for all of that shit, he can just switch it around of what it is or the topic of it. That's why they keep saying right now. That's why they're saying right now. They're comfortable with bringing it up when it comes to Memorandum 42 or Executive Order 42, whatever number that thing is on. The topic of dark-skinned people receiving reparations.
Though? Like, I know it ain't what they told you. 40 acres in a mule. Like, do you know how much land 40 acres is? And you think every single descendant of a slave is about to get 40 acres of land and a fucking horse or whatever? I don't know. Like, you think that's about to happen? That's what you think the reparations is. Like, what?
And then,
what is wrong with y'all?
That's why they did it the way they did it. Like, make everybody... Because they know who the descendants and people... They know who came here before and who didn't. They know that already. That's why it's such a game now. Because the ones who are already from here, y'all trying to ask for what the people that's not from here is supposed to get. y'all from here though. Like, you can't play that game like I wasn't from here. You don't have no history in your family immediately that has to do with any of that. And then you'll bring up 400 years. But then if you go to an African, there's no break to where people start speaking English in their family and like lose the accent. Not in their family. All of us can go back to where somebody spoke Gullah Geechee or some form of slick ass Southern to where it could almost sound like patois from the Jamaicans. So this game. How come we don't see no Africans saying that they missed their connection to the American family since they came before Columbus, meaning it was going back and forth between American and so-called Africa or Libya or Ethiopia, whatever you want to call that place. If that's the case, that there was going back and forth, how come none of them ever claimed that their ancestry over here? Because they don't consider themselves you. But you leave your home and your motherland to go to them, call them motherland and call them family. You're a spy and an agent, and you don't even know it. You just sold your mother out.
He turned his lights on, and oh, motherfucking bitch made me tired for no reason.
Control our minds so we can have control of our actions.
He turned his lights on and did the
He was
same
behind.
thing I was doing.
He was behind you like this. He got you. He did the Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange did. But like, so like, like, what's your nation? What's your nation? So we can know how to identify you. Say you do come from Africa, which is probably better if you want slave reparations, because people got, if you believe the story, people brought from the African regions to the Southern American regions. So why not connect back to your African roots, claim your African nationality, and then be able to come over here? The problem with that is, white people are going to be able to do that, right? Look up white in the census. They're originally Middle Eastern. They're originally European. They're originally North African. So guess who got claimed over there before you do, dealing with the census when they sign up as white? A pale person that's from Europe will have more claim than your dark skin behind as an African. Why? Because when you go to the census and you feeling black, it says you only come from the races of black in Africa. But the European, the white, it says you come from one of the original people groups. Black is the only status on there, on the census thing, that says comes from a race of people from a continent. But they don't descend from original people. If what they have just done was taking you out of being the original person and made you be the progenitor of yourself. Meaning you're a Negro, so you're created by the African, but you have no descendancy outside of that. You know what would be weird? What if, okay, but you do have connections with Europeans, you got connections with Asians. Look at Kobe in his eyes, and you got connections with, and then Kobe with the Italian, rest in power. You got connections with Australoids. Look at the Australians, so-called Aborigine, hair like sheep's wool, but it's blonde, skin like bronze and copper. So, what's going on? We look like these people, Indians, from the people from India, Southeast India, aka East Indies. We the West Indies, they the East Indies. We look like them. It's 3 Indias.
Where's the other one?
Ethiopia.
Where's the 4th? Because it's north, south, east, and west. And last time I recall, how is it just? It's only the north and east. What happened to the rest of the compass? Like,
yo, like they changed the names up. Like when the Europeans found Abyssinia as a empire, or as they like to bastardize it, Ethiopia. When they looked at Africa as the whole continent as Ethiopia or Abyssinia. He went to the king there, and the king was calling himself a Moor. His name was the king of Zalia. Asked the king of Zalia, "What land are we in?" And he said, "You don't know where you are? This is Abyssinia." And they said, "Indies." He said, "What's Indies?" They said land, and he said, "Yeah, Indies, whatever you call it." So the people that was lost found their way to Abyssinia. They call it Indies. That's one Indies. Then it was another history of those same people from Abyssinia had connections with people over in present-day Hindustan. This is the Mongol Empire meets the Abyssinian Empire through Aksum, the land Aksum. You can look at all this up. But anyway, people like Genghis Khan and Kublai Khan and all them, they what do you call it? Turkish Hindustan. That's Mongolia. So Hindustan of the day is Mongolia. Their empire was called Mauryan Empire. But when Europeans find it, they call it India. Indus Valley River or some shit like that. So you call it the Indus River. Indo-European. We think they talking about, what does Indo mean? Indian? So when you say Indo-European Aryan stuff, you're just talking about somebody from India. And then when you deal with the Indians with their little the gene manipulation, they were the ones that created the pale race, the Dravidian Indians, Dravidian Hindustani people. Those people, that is literally, you can find it up. You can look it up. Those are the darkest people from India, and they were the ones that had this gene mess up that caused the pale people to be born. That's why India was the first ones with the caste system, because their babies weren't right, so they had to make up a color system to put them into law, like to put them into society. So all the laws and all that stuff and rules for people, that comes for people that don't have a connection to a family line or are looked at as monstrosities from everybody else. So you have to make up a new set of rules for them. India number 3 is when that guy, the Morano, who was a dark-skinned person, well, the story they say is he got lost. You can't get lost sailing with no Moors. You don't get lost sailing with no Moors. That's a lie. So anyway, he didn't get lost. He knew exactly where he was going. The thing is, he was subjugating a land to call it India. They say lost, so he can say he discovered it, and then, I founded something. He founded it. He found it. They got us talking like children. I founded it. You can't found it something. You find something. But if you find something where somebody already found it, you got to put another ED on there because there's somebody already there. So you got to founded it because it's already people there.
Y'all co-founders.
Co-founder. Co-writer, co-author, co-mander-in-chief. All the Co family, look them up. Stupid. And this is all going back to how what reparations is supposed to be. So India number 3, from this India. So obviously there's no such thing as India. So I pity the fool that would call himself an Indian after all of this, when they're literally Europeans jumping around the world naming places India. Did you ever hear a history of the Abyssinians calling themselves Indian? No. They call themselves Moors, though. You ever hear history of the people of India calling themselves Indian? No. Timurian, the Maharajas, the Bharats, the Barrettes, the Barrettes. Y'all don't even know y'all culture. Indian is a goddamn color, bro. Go look up a crayon box and look up Indian red, and then you want to know what a red man is. This is Indian red, but I'm not an Indian. Indian is a damn river over there in Hindustan. Hindustan is the name of the land, or Bharat, or Laos. You don't know about Laos, or Sri Lanka, or Leon. All these people could be Moors too. The Sri Lankan Moors, the Leon Moors, the Abyssinian Moors. Y'all never heard about the Abyssinian Moors though. The Manasseh. So these people is all around the world, and everybody knows this. Oh yeah, and Malay. When you look up Malaysian, Malay is another way to say Moor. It's just the Asian. So that Asia over there too is Southeast Asia. That's India. So back to this Indian thing, when you follow the 3 Indias, it goes straight across into each other. The Caribbean, or Abyssinia, India, Caribbean. It's the trade route. You think you came from a trade route. You're a slave by nature. Get out of there. You can't be part of you can't be part of what we're doing. You can't be part of our family then. You got to go and return back to the state where nobody found you at. You got to go back to Pennsylvania. Go back to being a Pennsylvaniaite, whatever that is. And then hold your constitution and read Pennsylvania's constitution as your birthright. Like that wasn't created after your family already had bloodline here. What is Sheikh Mexan if you could be from Pennsylvania? What does Sheikh Mexan mean? Sheikh, you Muslims, you call everybody Sheikh. This land is called Sheikh Mexan. What is a Mexan? Why is this land called Sheikh Mexan? Because the guy who was stationed here as a commander or the sheikh or the sultan was named Tanneman. This is why the first dude, what do you call it? One of the law writers was named Tanny in Pennsylvania. But anyway, Tanneman. Tanneman was the sheikh of a Mexam. Because the first person you meet when you come to a Mexam or the Americas, they was coming through Pennsylvania. Look the records up. First person you see, 1683, Treaty of Elm in Pennsylvania, the great meeting place, the first Toronto, was Tanneman meeting William Penn. William Penn had just got released from slavery. Where he was stationed at in slavery, they brought him down from there and took him to Pennsylvania ports. Well, before it was Pennsylvania, it had been Sheikh Mexan ports. They seen Tanneman. They asked Tanneman, "What is this place? Who are these people?" He said, "Shit, I am Sheikh Mexan." So they like, "Oh, this is Sheikh Mexan." No, that was his title. So it goes deep. Like you get to the Penn's Landing, that's Sheikh Mexan. You get to all the way over there, North Philly, South Philly, West Philly, that's Allegheny and Susquehanna. And you can look up the Susquehanna people, and they think they're Indians. There you go. These names were created way before the term Indian. So how you Indian? These are companies too from Britain. So British East India Company. All of this stuff to subjugate to make somewhere Indian. So when it comes to reparations now, you're very punch drunk off of names and words and labels upon you. So how do you descend from a nation? Who's your nation? What's your nation? What's your nation name? Tell me a color so I can cut your tongue out. That was the old rule. I'm from the black nation. I'm mixed. I'm black and white. My grandma white. My dad black. Well, what's your nation is what I'm asking you. I'm African American. Wait, where did Europe go? I'm European African. Yeah, now you're like 3-4 different continents. How do you do that? Pick one so we can see what nation you is. Matter of fact, I help you. You from America. Period. Don't even look at nowhere else. Name the nation you from in America. Go. Hurry up. You don't know where you're from in America? Because look, it's called you can't even be American. Europeans lied to you. Europeans created, it's called hyphenated American. You have to have a hyphen in front of your American to be American and have descendancy here. So come on, all you Americans, what are you, Native American? Okay, Native ain't no damn nation. So how you Native? And then when you deal with the Latin word that Moorish talk, nativus means serf-born, servant-born. You're born into slavery. You born slave you Native American you's a slave American is what you is. You born into slavery American is what you is. Cool. I'll take it. Next. What's your nation? West Indies? West Indies? All right, here I go with that. What's East Indies? Bam. So go back to East Indies. Where's North Indies? They don't got it. So you can't be from there. It's a partial nation. You can't be from there, bro. There ain't nobody recognizing no West Indies. Somebody said they was lost. You can't be from West Indies. Try again. Where else? Where we coming from, y'all? Pan America? Where we coming from? Pan America? Where Pan? Pan is a damn Peter Pan. That's a book. That's a story. Some dude who know how to fly with pixie dust. We know how to fly without no pixie dust. Let your pineal gland go is what you do. How about this? Where are you from, American? What's your state, American? Don't tell me Pennsylvania. Don't tell me Illinois. Don't tell me no Detroit or Michigan. My fault. Where your state, homie? What's your state? Because all them Jones I just named ain't states in America. They not American states. So where you from? We got to know how y'all descend nationally so we can know how to give y'all reparations. Fools, hold up. What's your nation, though? American? We know Italian Americans. We know Spanish Americans. We know European Americans every day. What? They calling themselves regular Americans. And white. That's European American, though. He know where he come from. He know where his matrilineal descent take him back to. Where do yours take you back to? If you say Africa, I will cut your legs off because you ain't going back there. And if you didn't know that this was part of Africa at the same time, what the hell? Look at the damn plates under the damn water in Florida and tell me this ain't West Africa too, okay? They like to say this, see, y'all playing games, bro. People don't have no form of research in primary study. But you'll say something like, Africa is the only continent that doesn't connect to the land. It don't connect all the way to the ground. Bro, what, bro? You did so who crawled under America lately to see it? You can't go under America. It's to the ground. It's like embedded. What do you mean go under the land? Yo, this stuff get crazy. Like, if the whole world was once Africa, right? The Pangea, they like to call it. That's because the whole world, out of Africa theory, was Africa to him. The whole world. He called the whole world Africa. What would be Northwest world? America today, right? So who are the people from Northwest Africa? The Moors. I don't see why it's confusing.